Ben Fryer.
BBC Essex.
And it's all happening because I wonder what you think about the prospect of a 4-day working week. This is really interesting, and I'm going to keep tabs on this. A 6-month trial of the 4-day working week has been launched across the UK, with around 30 British companies taking part. Staff won't see any change to their pay either. Several studies have already shown that moving to a 4-day week boosts productivity and the well-being of staff. The US tech giant Microsoft tried a 4-day week with no loss of pay in their Japan office, and productivity went up by 40%. I'm not quite sure how you measure productivity. I don't know what a unit of productivity is, but apparently it went up by 40%. Let me know how you'd feel about a 4-day working week. 0800 111 40 41 would go Monday, well, presumably Monday, Thursday, and Friday would become the extra day. Let's speak to David Cann. He's the Managing Director of Target Publishing, who are based in West Essex and have already adopted a 4-day working week. Hello to you, David.
Yeah, hello, Ed. Good morning.
Hi.
Thank you for having me on your show.
No worries. Thanks for coming on. Really interesting. Talk us through the shift then from a Monday to Friday 5-day working week to a 4-day working week at your company.
Well, when COVID first hit back in January 2020, we saw some advertising revenues decline. And in March of that year, March 2020, we decided to reduce our costs, and fundamentally our highest costs were our staff costs. So reduce our costs across the board. So we reduced our the salaries by 20%. That didn't quite sit right with me. I'd run the business for 22 years, and I felt that we needed to try and match something, give something back. So to match the 20% pay cut, we actually gave a reduction in people's working weeks. So in other words, 20% off of your week. So in other words, it essentially became a 4-day week. So COVID almost enforced this upon us because of the reduction in our salaries, but also us matching that with the reduction in the working week. So that was a bit of a trial, but we had to do that. Like any business, advertising revenues dried up. We had to reduce costs to survive, and one of those ways to do that is to look at our staff costs. The positive of this is that 3 or 4 months later, we began to see through what was happening. We saw the uplift of really people's well-being. Despite COVID being a really tough time, and still is, we began to see some uplift in the business. Not only did we see a better work environment, sometimes we're remote, sometimes we're in the office, like everybody, you're in and you're out. But certainly what we did see is a better well-being. You talk about productivity. How do you measure that? We looked at, is a business more profitable? Are we being more efficient in the way that we run our meetings? And we were. And so there was no reason for us not to carry that on. So 4 months later, we carried on the 4-day week, but we increased everyone's pay back up to 100%.
Really? Really, really interesting. So you've now got staff back at their original salary, but working 20% less of the time. And how is that affecting business?
Well, I think you, as an MD owner, you need to always be aware any decisions you're making. You've got to kind of continue to test the system to make sure it's working. But it is. I think the main thing for us is, as a business with the well-being of your staff placed foremost, and you look after your staff, then the business fundamentally came second. And so what we've seen is a decrease in our sick pay. We've seen an uplift in terms of productivity. But also from a personal, you start hearing stories of people managing to meet their children. Some people's kind of nursery cost pay has reduced because, of course, that Friday then becomes they're able to pick up. You're able to do life admin instead of spending 2 hours on the phone during a working week trying to get hold of the gas board or whoever it is. So from a personal bit, it has shifted people's well-being. We can certainly see that to ensure we've got a happier workplace and a better place well-being on our staff.
Is it a 4-day week though, David? Are people still doing a bit of work on the Friday? Because we've spoken to the work from homers on this programme before, where they find it very difficult to switch off sometimes. And are those laptops just getting lifted on a Friday, do you think?
I think fundamentally, to start with, it was very difficult, me included, to not look at your emails and to respond. We tried to kind of encourage the team not to do that. It's a natural thing. If you're an owner, manager as well, the business, you want to make sure that you're giving a good customer service, that people don't think you're shut for the Friday. Fundamentally, we are, but we communicated that to our customers. So long and short of it, the occasional email may get looked at, and if it's an urgent thing, you have to jump on it. You can't just leave a customer in a lurch or read in the lurch. But I would say 95% of the time, it's down tools, spend time with your friends and family, make that Friday the 3-day weekend instead of a 4-day week. So turn that around the other way. And so everybody comes back on a Monday very, very refreshed.
And customers, obviously, most other business still operating on a 5-day model. They don't mind. They've accepted. We can't. We don't get in touch with you on a Friday.
I think what you need to also look at is what happens on a Friday, and it depends what business you're in, of course. And if you're in the healthcare industry and stuff, then things, of course, continue, and they have to continue for those reasons. But actually, what this taught us is that you can remodel your business. And to be more efficient in those 4 days. And so perhaps, we're working a bit tougher and a bit harder in those 4-day weeks in order to gain that Friday. So in terms of our customers, we've had no complaints. In fact, I've had some of our customers and key advertisers ring me personally to say, I love it. How do you do it? How can we do the same? And so we found that, the coverage that we got, in terms of national newspapers, as well as things like the New York Post, newspapers in Ireland and media across the world have actually picked up on the story because they want to know, like you do, how does this 4-day week work? How could we be part of that? And just recently, Cambridge University, a part of this 4-day trial, they are pushing forward this 4-day trial with these 30-odd companies. And they've made contact recently saying, we know that you've run this for 21 months now, can you be part of the panel to tell us how you're doing it and how you've improved the business over those 21 months? So it's certainly got everybody waking up and listening to how they could run the businesses differently.
Are you working longer? You mentioned working harder. Are you working longer Monday to
more
Thursday?
Efficient. I would say more efficient. Yeah. We don't expect people to put a 40-odd hour week into a 32-hour week now. What we do is encourage the 4 days. So if your hours are 9 to 5:30, and so it's a shorter working week, not the same amount of hours divided by 4. So everyone's working that same normal working day.
And you're on this panel, and this national trial is being looked at. I mean, would you encourage other businesses to take this into consideration from what you've been through over the last 21 months?
I would actually, and we just did it from a well-being, but this has obviously grown. Obviously, a lot of newspapers and media have now picked up on this as you have today, and we're discussing it. I was talking to Kenny Baddinger just last week, who's a Saffron Walden MP, who also sat in the Treasury and was not particularly in favour of 4-day week, but we discussed what our experiences have been with the 4-day week. And, I think it's opened our eyes to her, certainly, in terms of, maybe this is an opportunity for businesses to reconsider the way in which they work. COVID almost forced it upon us, but I also wanted to do something for employees at some point, and that is to give something back to employees. And actually, this was it. This was to ensure that people who have been loyal and working with the business for a period of time, that we can actually, as a business, look after people's well-being, give something back, and still remain profitable.
David Cann, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Managing Director of Target Publishing. They're based over in West Essex and have adopted a 4-day working week. Do you think that could catch on? Let me know. Text 81333. Start your message with the word Essex. Maybe you're working from home at the moment. I've got BBC Essex on for a bit of company. What do you think? 4 days a week. It's, sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But, I mean, what about it in real terms? Let me know. Text 81333. Start your message with the word Essex. 11:19's the time.